Hello, and welcome to the May edition of the Okay, Now What Newsletter. I'm David Zahn, the business mentor. And if you're like so many of my clients, you realize summer is quickly approaching and you begin to think of what can I do differently? What can I do better? And not too dissimilar from New Year's resolutions, we make some promise that somehow this coming year is going to be different. And as this school year ends, for those of you that are teachers, and you begin to think of what am I going to do over the summer? Or maybe if you're not a school teacher and you think I will use some of my vacation time this summer to perhaps plan out what I will do come sometime in the future, the new year, or maybe even sooner than that. And you start to put your plotting together and you're conspiring. And unfortunately, it very often doesn't quite come to pass as you would hope, and you do the same thing again next year. Well, let's really look at what it takes to put that plan in place. First thing, we need to have clear objectives, not simply, I want to do better, I want to change. What is it you want to do better? What is the change that you seek? Be really clear. And for those of you who have gone through some kind of education or training on objectives, you know you want it to be a SMART objective: specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, realistic, and should have some time component to it. Add those variables to your objective to make sure it's a strong one and one that can guide your future behaviors and performance. Then you also want to have those mileposts, those intermediate steps that help ensure you are making sufficient progress. Very often, the big objective can be overwhelming, but if we chunk it into smaller pieces, more manageable segments of the larger objective, you will find it's very often something that is actionable for you, something you can achieve and accomplish, and it allows you to make that forward progress and feel the momentum of your energies and efforts. Next, as we had mentioned when we discussed setting your SMART objective, you need to have some way of determining, am I on track? Am I making the progress I had anticipated I could or would or should? And so you need to have some way of evaluating or measuring a metric that you're going to use to determine if success is possible for you. So include some kind of ideally quantitative measure and some qualitative aspects of that. Are you completing the book you wanted to read? Are you attending the course you had intended to complete? Are you building things that require multiple steps? Have you taken the first or the first couple of steps towards that? Those kinds of metrics are really critical and important. You also would be well advised to have a team around you to support you. It could be family, friends, colleagues, but people who will hold you accountable, people who can offer counsel, insight, and advice as needed. It is very common that people who want to launch a business think they have to do it all by themselves, all alone. That is really a mistake. You're far better including others. And I'm not talking about partners and ownership splits, but people who have your interests at heart and are willing to help you along the way, either by simply being cheerleaders or more than that, sometimes being able to guide you, offer mentorship, offer some kind of assistance to you to help you avoid some of the likely potholes on your journey and keep you moving forward. And then lastly, we want to make sure that you take the time to celebrate those things that you have done, those things that are leading to success, and you do recognize this is a journey with many steps to it, and that you're going to need some resources along the way. So make sure you have those and celebrate your successes. If you want to talk about this further with me, I would welcome the opportunity to help lend some of my experiences to you. So let's talk in the very near future. Thanks.